Manish, let me ask you first. This is another huge legal setback, isn't it, for the government as far as the Supreme Court is concerned? Because there are pretty scathing words from the court today on the role of the state and the police.
Well, Nidhi, first of all, I have not perused the Supreme Court order. As you rightly pointed out, the order has just come in, and as I understand that the Home Ministry would also study the order and react to it. But my limited understanding and training as a lawyer, makes me to conclude that whenever a judgment has to be read, it has to be read holistically. It has to be read in a perspective. The Supreme Court has made observations with regard to the conduct of various dramatis persona in this entire matter. So therefore, I think before we start passing judgment, about a particular individual or a particular ministry or a particular institution, I don't think it is appropriate to go beyond the Supreme Court order. And that is exactly, what I found a little difficult when I listened to the venerable spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, that it seems that the Bharatiya Janata Party has now decided to put itself over and above the Supreme Court also. When they say that we do not agree with these aspects of the order, but we agree with those aspects of the order, as I understand it, that, you cannot disagree with the Supreme Court order because ultimately, that is the law of the land and that is what the Constitution mandates. So to selectively read the order and utilize it for political purposes or for scoring political brownie points, I think is something completely and entirely
But Manish, the court does say, if you look at what we do know, and we are also going through the finer points of the judgment, it does say that this was an abuse of power by the police. It said it is the might of the state which has struck at the very core of our democracy. I can read out more bits to you that the incident is an example of a weird expression of the desire of a tyrannical mind to threaten peaceful life suddenly for no justification. Says that this was outrageous behavior displayed by the police and the administration and cannot be justified by law in any civilized society. These are exact bits. Now, this is a police force that comes under the Home Ministry. It is under the Home Ministry's very nose. So therefore, can the Home Ministry and the government escape responsibility?
First of all, Nidhi, I think the answer lies in your question itself. You've read out bits of the order. But, those bits, in what context are they located, can only be appreciated by reading the order in its entirety. And number two, if the Supreme Court had something to say about the Home Ministry, they would have said it directly. I don't think the Supreme Court needs prodding or interpretation from anybody, to really discern as to what they meant. If at all they had wanted to say something about the Home Minister or the Home Ministry or the government, they would have said it directly. And what I heard the police commissioner say, later in the evening when he was reacting to this order, perhaps I was listening to it on your channel at about 6:30. He said that they will study the judgment and those aspects of the judgment which pertain to the Delhi police and which call for certain action to be taken, inquiries to be conducted. They would conduct the inquiries within the time frame which is given.
Is this passing the buck, Nirmala Sitharaman, to the Delhi police and absolving the government then of any role, political role in this?
Certainly, that's the way Congress handles most of its crises. Coming from Manish, the Congress spokesperson, that we are talking about the Supreme Court and nobody has a business to, undermine anybody, and constitutionally given institution should be respected, especially after the recent attempt to undermine the Election Commission. It gives me a lot of reassurance that the Congress party probably is looking at respecting institutions in the first place. That said, certainly I think people do have a right to critique. It is not as if you immediately disobey the organization. It's not as if you care less for the verdict of the Supreme Court. But there are times when you can critique with due respects given to the organizations and the Supreme Court. You can certainly critique, and that is what the BJP has chosen to do here. And we are doing it with a certain sense of responsibility. It is not as if we are undermining the Supreme Court. That said, the point that we are raising this concern is when you're holding the Delhi police responsible, the Delhi police, after all, functions under the orders of somebody. We are asking this question as to who exactly gave the order, considering that, as you said, as even the Congress spokesperson is saying, all of us are going through the order as we are talking even now. But there are very clear indications that the court has taken cognizance of the fact that the government was in constant contact with the Commissioner of Police.
The NDTV News app had redefined the entire genre. Now another market beater. It's already hit #1.
NDTV Profit, India's #1 finance app. Download free at ndtvprofit.com/apps. Live stream of NDTV Profit, market news and your easy to manage portfolio. Download now ndtvprofit.com/apps.